Aesis. She's finally here, and so is her hellish event that she brought with her. So this is another 140 luck event, meaning that it is extremely difficult, but if you're able to clear it, you get a 140 luck unit that's actually pretty good and can rival some of the gacha units. Aesis is probably the best 140 luck unit currently out, so a lot of people have her on their radar, so I'm gonna be trying to give you a guide today on Aesis. I did this with Vits, and a lot of you guys seem to enjoy it. Of course, that video came out a little bit late. I think it was like a day after Vits. I'm gonna try to have this out today, which is the 25th. If not, then it will definitely be out the 26th. Also, before we get into this, just because it makes my life a hell of a lot easier, we're going to be taking screenshots from Nepco's Aesis guide that he put in my Discord. I think he also put it in the official Discord as well. So thanks him so much for doing that. So without further ado, let's talk about Aesis. If I remember Vits correctly, Vits didn't really have anything too wild that he could do right off the bat. It was pretty much, you know, a sustained type game against Vits. But against Aesis, it's a completely different ball field. Aesis, as soon as you get into the stage, she's already popping passives for you. And the first passive she's going to actually pop is going to negate all forms of art generation. So what does this mean? This means that equipment, passives, unit arts, battle ether, arts gen over time, anything like that is completely negated. You no longer generate art gen like you do in other parts of GS. So to counteract this, of course, there is a mechanic that is also in the stage that gives your unit passive art gen. You get 5 arts per second. And additionally, every time you use a skill on a unit, you increase their art gauge by 10. So this heavily values skill CT buffs in the fight. If you can reduce your skill CT, that's pretty much your art gauge for this fight. So her first mechanic is that she gains 100% water resist at the start of the stage. And she also will gain 100% water killer, so it's pretty much instantly deletes you using any type of water units in this fight. Also, she'll gain increased critical rate on units inflicted with status elements. And also, Aesis may have increased critical damage up. You have poison, curse, paralyze, blind, and seal. So she can apply all of these debuffs. However, only curse and blind are afflicted normally, but the rest of the elements will only occur if Aesis uses her arts. So moving on to that, let's talk about these thresholds, okay? At the start of the stage, she gains increased defense for 60 seconds. At 70% HP, she uses her true art and inflicts damage resist down, permanently gains attack and gains damage up for 8 seconds. At 50%, she uses her true art and inflicts damage resist down, and permanently gains increased attack and gains damage up for 8 seconds, and permanently decreases healing by all player units by 100%. When she is below 25% HP, Aesis will enrage, permanently gain increased movement speed, increased damage, and increased art gen. And at 1%, oh god. At 1%, she sets all player units' HP to 1 and empowers her true art. She ignores damage redirect, barriers, and damage reduction. She will deal a fixed damage of 5k to all units. This true art does not inflict any status elements, and Aesis will be defeated shortly after. Woo-wee. So knowing all of that, you can see how much of a pain Aesis can be, especially at that 1% mark. She literally will one-shot your entire team, especially if you have no healing or a revivable unit. The units recommended for this event are the following. Gerald as the taunt tank. He has a barrier, and him redirecting all damage to himself makes the fight very easy because he will only be inflicted with status elements while everybody else can do their thing. Also, at the very end, when she does her 1% HP nuke, Gerald can be the only one that survives, meaning that you can clear it every single time consistently. Now, of course, there are other people you can use. Nepco did recommend Naofumi and Cillian. They don't have a type advantage, so you will be having to give them a little bit more support. Next, we have Sandstone, a god tier for this. The reason why she has 2 defense slots, her true art is literally amazing. It reduces critical damage and it has damage resist. And then not only this, she has a 4-star support slot. Now, of course, you will be needing Sandstone's true weapon to really get the most out of her, let me say. Sandstone's true weapon is absolutely crucial for this fight, not really because of what it does, but for what it gives Sandstone. It gives Sandstone 35% equipment CT down, which of course benefits her true weapon and all the equips that are currently on Sandstone. So you'll be wanting to try to cycle damage resist as much as possible, just like how you did in the Vits fight if you were using Badul, Rim, Norn, Thetis. But of course, the one thing that I will tell you with Sandstone is be a little bit sparing on the true art. Don't go all crazy all the time. Try to at least time it and make sure that you're using it at vital points. It only lasts for 20 seconds, but it's kind of hard to constantly have that up all the time. But of course, if you can confidently have it up all the time, no matter what, then spam it as much as possible. Next is Swick. I know, right? Not Mage Berwick, which is one of the best units in the game, but actually Swick. Reason for Swick is because fast skill CT, defense slots, and he deals a lot of damage. And also everybody going to be using in the fight is also physical damage dealers, so he's going to be buffing up everybody else, including himself. And last but not least, you guys would probably be so surprised because you didn't even know this unit was usable in this. And it's Millennia. Millennia is a beast for this. So she doubles the uses of skills and team-wide crit buffs. So she becomes a really good team buffer, a god tier damage dealer, and she also has extremely good slots for this fight. She has a 4-star heal, 5-star physical, and a 5-star support. So as you can see there, that is the team comp she's going to be using, and the go-to team comp for this fight is of course going to be the one that I mentioned: Millennia, Swick, Gerald, and Sandstone. Now, the equipments that you should be using, for the most part, it's very simple. Anything that reduces earth damage is good. Stuff like Viper Coat, which is a gotcha equip, and the newly Raccoon Girl's bracelet from the Rise of the Shield Hero collab is very strong as well. Now for support items, because a lot of you guys are going to be asking, anything that reduces your equipment CT is good. For 5-star support, Elven Cloth, that's from the Goblin Slayer crossover, skill CT by a ton. Or if you have the Halloween boots from the Rags event, that is also very strong because it does a similar thing. And then for your healing slots, what you should be running is Keratos or Holy Knight Fenrir. And also if you're using someone like Naofumi or Cilia, you'll be wanting to run Blessed Necklace or Sounding Staff instead, so at the end you can actually survive the 1% nuke. So those are the recommended equipments that you should be running. Of course, like I said, anything that increases your skill CT, reduces earth damage, and then anything that is able to cleanse and give you healing is very nice. Now here's the problem, right? Here's the biggest thing. You have to full clear this in order to get a copy of Aesis. And this is where it becomes a pain. And I think it's really evil that they even did this. The way how you clear Aesis usually is, like I said, with the Gerald comp. Gerald, Millennia, Swick, and Sandstone. But the problem with that comp is that no one will survive apart from Gerald, so you don't get the final mission, which is clear without no deaths. So the main strat to combat this is using Vox. You use Vox even though it is so bad because it's going to take you so long, because your damage is going to fall way off, because you're using a water unit and she has 100% water resist. So the way how you full clear is that once you see the 1% nuke, after she reduces everybody's HP to, of course, 1%, you pop Vox's normal art twice. Then boom. Pretty simple, right? It's gonna take you a long time though. I'm not lying, it'll take you a while. And you may actually want to clear it normally first, like with the Gerald comp, and then come back and try to clear it with the no deaths comp. As you can see, that's that. That's how you beat Aesis. It's not going to be easy. I'm not lying to you guys. It's not going to be easy. So some ending notes here, just some general recaps. Make sure you have Gerald. If you don't have Gerald, Swick, Sandstone, Millennia are all good options. You know, join multiplayer and definitely use multiplayer function. Use Discords and all that stuff to help you get the clears, because of course you may be able to find better equipped players by searching through Discords or Reddit, whatever the case may be. I'll be trying to help out as many people in public matches actually as much as I can, because I really enjoy doing this a lot whenever a new 140 luck unit comes out. So if you see me join the lobby, then say what's up, because I try to help as much as I can. Make sure you're using defense equips that increase your earth resist as much as possible. Make sure you're running support items that of course give you skill CT, because if you're running art gen items, they will be negated. And make sure you're running cleanse items as well if you're doing the Gerald comp. And if you're doing the Naofumi or Cilia comp, then of course run some revive equips to survive that ending nuke. But guys, it's gonna actually be it for the video. I wish you all the best of luck when trying to beat Aesis. I know this video isn't probably nowhere near as detailed or deep as the Vits video was. With Vits, I've kind of walked you through a clear of it as well to kind of give you a complete overview of how the fight will be. But I feel like for the most part, Aesis is pretty straightforward. The 1% nuke to me is the only part where Aesis becomes extremely difficult. And two, I actually wanted to get this video out before Aesis left the first time, because that was the problem with Vits. I actually couldn't get it out before Vits left. But guys, thank you all for coming out. Like I said, been your boy OP. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more aggressiveness content on the channel. But last but not least, man, you guys don't forget to drink water.